This is the reading for Unit 1, Day 8 in CSP. The reading is so huge today, I'm going to just try to get through it without making too many comments here. So, introduction. The Internet is for Everyone is a memo written by Vint Cerf as a plea to the people who write and define standards to make sure the way the Internet is engineered maintains the philosophy that the Internet should be available and usable by everyone in the world, regardless of race, gender, creed, location, or wealth. Clearly, Vint Cerf thought that the prospect of the Internet is for everyone might be threatened in early 2002, shortly after the terrorist attacks of September 11th. In the memo, he lays out the state of the Internet and its usage in 2002, predicts the future, and then presents a series of 9 challenges or threats to the idea that the Internet is for everyone. The last several paragraphs begin with the phrase, "Internet is for everyone, but it won't be if." The document is reproduced below in its entirety. Here's the original RFC 3271 if you want to see it. A commentary is provided on the side to help explain some of the technical details and contextualize some of the statements. The Internet is for everyone. Status of this memo. This memo provides information for the Internet community. It does not specify an Internet standard of any kind. Distribution of this memo is unlimited. Copyright notice. All right. Abstract. This document expresses the Internet Society's ideology that the Internet really is for everyone. However, it will only be such if we make it so. The Internet is for everyone. How easy to say, how hard to achieve. How have we progressed towards this noble goal? The Internet is in its 14th year of annual doubling since 1988. There are over 150 million hosts on the Internet and an estimated 513 million users worldwide. By 2006, the global Internet is likely to exceed the size of the global telephone network, if it has not already become the telephone network by virtue of IP telephony. Moreover, as many as 1.5 billion Internet-enabled appliances will have joined traditional servers, desktops, and laptops as part of the Internet family. Pagers, cell phones, and personal digital assistants may well have merged to become the next telecommunications tools of the next decade. But even at the scale of the telephone system, it is sobering to realize that only half of the Earth's population has ever made a telephone call. It is estimated that commerce on the network will reach somewhere between 1.8 trillion and 3.2 trillion by 2003. That is only 2 years from now, but a long career in Internet years. The number of Internet users will likely reach over 1,000 million by the end of the year 2005, but that is only about 16% of the world's population. By 2047, the world's population may reach about 11 billion. If only 25% of the then world's population is on the Internet, that will nearly be 3 billion users. As a high bandwidth access becomes the norm through digital subscriber loops, cable modems, and digital terrestrial and satellite radio links, the convergence of media available on the Internet will become obvious. Television, radio, telephony, and the traditional print media will find counterparts on the Internet and will be changed in profound ways by the presence of software that transforms the one-way media into interactive resources shareable by many. The Internet is proving to be one of the most useful amplifiers of speech ever invented. It offers a global megaphone for voices that might otherwise be heard only feebly, if at all. It invites and facilitates multiple points of view and dialogue in ways unimplementable by the traditional one-way mass media. The Internet can facilitate, democratize practices in unexpected ways. Did you know that the proxy voting for stock shareholders is now commonly supported on the Internet? Perhaps we can find additional ways in which to amplify or simplify and expand the voting franchise in other domains, including the political, as access to the Internet increases. The Internet is becoming the repository of all we have accomplished as a society. It has become a kind of disorganized Boswell of the human spirit. Be thoughtful in what you commit to email, news groups, and other Internet communication channels. It may well turn up in a web search someday. Thanks to online access to common repositories, shared databases on the Internet are acting to accelerate the pace of research progress. The Internet is is moving off the planet. Already, interplanetary internet is part of the NASA Mars mission program now underway at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. By 2008, we should have a well-functioning Earth-Mars network that serves as a nascent backbone of an interplanetary system of internets. Interplanet is a network of internets. Ultimately, we will have interplanetary internet relays in polar solar orbit so that they can see most of the planets and their associated interplanetary gateways for most, if not all, of the time. The Internet Society is launching a new campaign to facilitate access to and use of Internet everywhere. The campaign slogan is, Internet is for everyone, but there is much work needed to accomplish this objective. Internet is for everyone, but it won't be if it isn't affordable by all that wish to partake of its services. So we must dedicate ourselves to making the Internet as affordable as other infrastructures, so critical to our well-being. While we follow Moore's law to reduce the cost of Internet enabling equipment, let us also seek to stimulate regulatory policies that take advantage of the power of competition to reduce costs. Internet is for everyone, but it won't be if governments restrict access to it, so we must dedicate ourselves to keeping the network unrestricted, unfettered, and unregulated. We must have the freedom to speak and the freedom to hear. But it won't be if we cannot keep up with the explosive demand for its services, so we must dedicate ourselves to continuing its technological evolution and development of the technical standards that lie at the heart of the Internet's revolution. Let us dedicate ourselves to the support of the Internet Architecture Board, the Internet Engineering Steering Group, the Internet Research Task Force, the Internet Engineering Task Force, and other organizations dedicated to developing Internet technology as they drive us forward into an unbound future. Let us also commit ourselves to support the work of the Internet Corporation for assigned names and numbers, a key function for the Internet's operation. But it won't be until in every home, in every business, in every school, in every library, in every hospital, in every town, and in every country on the globe, the Internet can be accessed without limitation at any time in every language. But it won't be if it is too complex to be used easily by everyone. Let us dedicate ourselves to the task of simplifying the Internet's interfaces and to educating all that are interested in its use. But it won't be if legislation around the world creates a thicket of incompatible laws that hinder the growth of electronic commerce, stymie the protection of intellectual property, and stifle freedom of expression and the development of market economies. Let us dedicate ourselves to the creation of a global legal framework in which laws work across national boundaries to reinforce the upward spiral of value that the Internet is capable of creating. It won't be if users cannot protect their privacy and the confidentiality of transactions conducted on the Internet. Let us dedicate ourselves to the proposition that cryptographic technology sufficient to protect privacy from unauthorized disclosure should be freely available, applicable, and exportable. Moreover, as authenticity lies at the heart of trust in network environments, let us dedicate ourselves to work towards the development of authentication methods and systems capable of supporting electronic commerce through the Internet. It won't be if parents and teachers cannot voluntarily create protected spaces for our young people for whom the full range of Internet content still may be inappropriate. Let us dedicate ourselves to the development of technology and practices that offer this kind of protection, flexibility to those who accept responsibility for providing it. It won't be if we are not responsible in its use and mindful of the rights of others who share its wealth. Let us dedicate ourselves to the responsible use of this new medium and to the proposition that with the freedom the Internet enables comes a commensurate responsibility to use these powerful enablers with care and consideration. For those who choose to abuse these privileges, let us dedicate ourselves to developing the necessary tools to combat the abuse and punish the abuser. Internet is for everyone, even Martians. I hope intranets everywhere would join with the Internet Society and like-minded organizations to achieve this easily stated but hard to attain goal. As we pass the milestones of the beginning of the third millennium, what better theme could be possible Or what better theme could we possibly ask for than making the internet the medium of this millennium? Internet is for everyone, but it won't be unless we make it so.